Honorable Member Srimati Pratima Mondal.
Sir, on behalf of my party, All India Trinamool Congress, I strongly oppose this draconian bill, the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Amendment Bill 2024. Sir, the country has seen the quality of its water bodies drastically decline due to unfettered urbanization and industrialization and the resulting discharge of waste and toxic pollutants over the past decades. Many articles and research papers published over many years showing innumerable water bodies across India toxic and simply poisonous. So Ganga, Jamuna, Godavari, Ghagar, Gomati, these are the 5 most polluted rivers in India. So under Ganga Rejuvenation Program, despite spending over rupees 32,000 crore since 2014, the latest revelation by the Jal Shakti Ministry holds that 71% of the monitoring stations in Ganga have reported very high levels of fecal coliform early this year. The National Green Tribunal found that untreated wastewater sewage continues to be discharged in the holy river Ganga unabated. So back in 2018, the Composite Water Management Index released by the then Minister for Water Resources, Mr. Nitin Gadkari ji. He stated that India is suffering from, quote, the worst water crisis, unquote, in its history, with about 60 crore people facing high to extreme water stress and about 2 lakh people dying every year due to inadequate access to safe water, and the situation has only gotten worse over the years. Sir, in 1988, some amendments were made to bring in stringent penalties like an increase in fines and imprisonment under Section 41 of the Water Act. But the amendment's proposal to reduce the burden of compliance decriminalize environmental violations by removing imprisonment as a penalty or punishment. The rationale being, quote, to weed out the fear of imprisonment for simple infractions. So my question to the Honorable Minister is, what constitutes a simple infraction? The bill says simple infringement is when injury to human is not caused. But how do you determine injury and over what period of time? There have been cases of children being born with disabilities due to their proximity to polluted water bodies, as well as increasing cases of cancer which manifest after months and years of a water body being polluted. This is a question of national public health, and the lives of Indians are at risk. So please help me to understand, Honorable Minister, how do you determine a simple infraction and over what period of time when it comes to polluting such a valuable resources as water, without which life itself is impossible? My second question to the Honorable Minister is, will the proposed increase in fines increase the cost of non-compliance over the cost of compliance? The upper limit for the penalty specified in the amendments is not enough to deter polluters with enormous resources from polluting. My request to the Honorable Minister, it should be less than 10 lakhs, which may extend to 50 lakhs. It is also unclear how the penalties will be calculated, as the revisions have not established any formula or guidelines or guidance. While higher penalties are definitely required, penalties alone will not be sufficient, and these amendments, if passed, will bring about a situation where polluters will continue to pollute and simply pay the fines instead of investing in proper waste management and waste treatment facilities. And that is why it is important that imprisonment must be a possibility, at least extreme cases, where damages done to any water body are irreversible, and there are clear cases of people in the surrounding areas developing serious illnesses due to consumption of water from that water body. So the amendment also proposed creating a water pollution remediation fund from the penalties collected from the violators. While a part of the funds can be used for the purpose of compensation of affected parties. Sir, how do you determine affected parties in a case irreversible damages are done to a water body, rendering it unfit for consumption?
Speaking very nicely, you allow.
So because once polluted irreversibly, the toxic substances filter into groundwater as well as the soil, penetrating all connected ecosystems. So affected parties cannot just be people who suffer the consequences immediately, but also future generation who will be impacted in the decades to follow. Sir, therefore we need laws and amendments that will oblige companies to mandatorily treat their waste, and if they don't, they shall not only pay fines but also go to prison in extreme cases.
Please conclude.
Sir, when it comes to funds from penalties collected, they shall be dedicated to not only compensate all affected parties adequately, but also towards building new infrastructure and technology that can restore the quality of water in our lakes, rivers as well as groundwater.
Yes.
Sir, I would like to conclude by reminding this government that uncontrolled growth is never a good thing.
Yes.
In the human body, for example, uncontrolled growth is synonymous of cancer.
Yes.
And in the same way, the pursuit of unchecked industrialization and economic growth, whatever price to pay, is cancerous for the future of our country. The present government is concerned only with short-term gains, and passing amendment like this will only make it easier for industries to pollute our precious water bodies, endanger more and more species of flora and fauna, and risk the health of crores of Indians.
Thank you.
We are sitting on a public health time bomb, and the current government is leading us into a very dark and worrisome future by multiplying and adding to the already existing problems instead of solving them. And what our fellow opposite members said regarding the power to issue guidelines, I can only say that the intention of the government is to centralize the power by snatching the power from the state government,
Yes.
which is not a good sign for the democracy. So,
Thank you.
sir, I once again must say that
Shringa
we,
Parani.
the Trinamool Congress, is strongly opposing this draconian bill. Thank you, sir.
माननीय सभापति महोदय, जल प्रदूषण रोकथाम और नियंत्रण